Okay, so I start with my concealer and I put it on underneath my eyes, a thicker line underneath my eyes, and I go straight down the side of my nose and up to make a little triangle. I make it thicker under my eyes because I need the coverage, and then I put a little bit over any blemishes, anything I want to cover, and I take a line from the side of my lip all the way straight across, put a little at the bottom of my chin, and I make this thing called a tree, which is just 3 lines up at the top of my eyes, and I put another line straight down my nose. I know it looks weird now, but it'll get blended out later. It doesn't look as weird once I finish. So that's the concealer I was using, and I just kind of make sure the lines are all in place. And then I take my bare eyeshadow palette with my eyeshadow brush. It's slanted and it's a little fluffy brush. And I take the darkest color that's still matte. It's not at all sparkly. So I take that and I just make a line. I suck in my cheeks and I make a line straight across. Make another line on both sides. I go under my jaw. This helps with like any double chins or anything, apparently. And I do my temples, brush my hair out of my face. It doesn't have to be clean at all. You just buff it out eventually. So I go along my hairline, I go along my temples, down the bridge of my nose on the other side of that concealer. Just make sure it's straight, that one, because that one, it really does make a difference if it's straight or not. So then I take my flat stippling brush. This one came with the eyeshadow kit. It's probably not used for this, but I use it for this anyways. So I kind of buff it out with lines. I go over my eyelid. I buff it out, sometimes going in circles, sometimes going in lines, but it's good to make sure that you get it all. The cheeks you don't have to worry about as much with the buffing out, because the color underneath will just kind of blend in, and that's what you want it to do, so it doesn't look all stupid. So you just kind of blend it in. You can see my skin is like a lot lighter once I put this on. That's okay, because it evens it all out, which is probably something that I need. Just buffing it out again. This isn't normally what I do for makeup. This is if I'm going out somewhere or like on a special occasion or something. So I don't normally do this. Normally I'll just put a little concealer under my eyes and do the rest of my makeup. I don't put on any eyeshadow or anything normally. But so I've heard to go from the center out on your forehead. This just helps make it so it's kind of naturally looking illuminated. Blend out the temples, of course, because you didn't do such a great job earlier. Once you blend it all out, it looks pretty natural, so it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I just make sure that everything is blended right and that it looks okay. I don't really care that much, though, in general. So then I take my little angled brush, it's still fluffy, and I take the lightest color. It has like a little bit of yellow to it, to counteract the purple under my eyes, and I just brush it on to set the color under my eyes. I want to keep it there. It doesn't look cakey either if you just put a little bit. It just kind of sets the color. It's good to keep it. You know, you can just put it wherever, really. It's yellow. It doesn't look too weird. Sometimes I just have to brush it up with my fingers, because your fingers are all warm, so it softens up the colors. This is my blush. It's in a pump. It's a pump blush. You really don't need a lot. This one, it has so much color. I take my other stippling brush. I use that just for the blush. You really don't need a lot. It's so much color. Yeah, I see a little bit. That once you start buffing it out, it just really is a lot of color. And if you put on more than what I put on, it's going to be insane. It looks scary at first, but once you buff it all out, it's a good color. This one I go from the apples of my cheeks in circles up towards my temple. I really like the look of blush, but I don't wear it all the time. I only wear it for special occasions. And yeah, I just make sure it's covering my cheeks. I smile, of course, that's how you get it. And then just make sure it's blended out. Sometimes people get that streaky look and it doesn't look very pretty. Next, I take my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. And you really don't need a lot of this either. It goes all over the lid. It works really well. I swear by this. I would not get rid of it for anything. I use it every time I put on eyeshadow, and it makes my eyeshadow stay all day. So you just kind of rub it around with your finger all over your eyelid. You can get it a little bit higher into the crease if you want. But most of the time I just put it all over my eyelid. It doesn't really matter where this goes anyways, because you're just going to be putting stuff over it anyways. So then I take my eyeshadow palette again, and my angled brush. And you can really use any of the light colors. I tend to go for the middle one because it's closest to my skin color. I like using ones that are skin color. These are all matte colors too, so it just gives it a nice regular coat of color to make my eyelids all the same. And then I go back in, and there's this like shimmery pink almost. It's like skin colored kind of pink. I use that. It's a little bit shimmery. I would recommend doing this, just blow off the brush. I didn't do that before, and it kind of kept falling down on my face, so I had to keep wiping under my eyes. But this color, like, I don't use a lot. It just gives it like a nice little bit of shimmer. So it's kind of like the same color I put on earlier, just sparkly. So yeah. So then I take, this is my crease brush. It looks like a little fluffy brush, like a little tiny one. And I take the darkest sparkly shade, and I only go in the corner of this just a little bit. And I start from the outer corner of my crease, and I just go back and forth in the crease. I really don't use a lot of this. I think the more you use, the weirder it starts looking. So you can always start out with like a little tiny bit and like build upon it if you really feel like you need more. But even with just a little tiny dab, I still get all that color in. So it's nice. It's a nice neutral look. I really like the neutral browns. It's sparkly. It's nice. So that's what I would wear on my eyes if I was going out to like a wedding or something. I don't really wear a lot of makeup. So this is Eyelash Curler, my eyeliner, which is liquid, and my mascara, which I swear by. So first what I do is I curl my eyelashes before I put on anything on my eyes. I always curl my eyelashes before mascara, obviously, because if you put on mascara and then curl your eyelashes, you could accidentally pull out your eyelashes, which is not good. So then I take my my eyeliner, and I don't start all the way out. I have this little indent in my eye where I tend to start like 3/4 of the way in, and I draw a line really close to my lash line and just barely flick it up at the outside, and then I'll go back over it and make sure the beginning is smooth, and I'll kind of create this smooth line where it flicks up at the end. Sometimes when I'm closing my eyes, I will go in the far corner and just kind of flick it up a little bit more, there, like that. And so you can see that I go in the far corner. On the other side, I do pretty much the same thing. This side tends to be easier, so I can do it in more or less one line. Yeah, so I open my eyes and I go in the corner and connect that. I never put eyeliner on the bottom of my eyes. I never do. I don't like the way it looks. So I just kind of tend to really decorate the top and leave the bottom blank. And then obviously now is to make sure that they look even, because if you flick the ends of your eyes and they don't look even, it kind of looks stupid. So then I take my mascara and I put on a ton of coats of mascara. on my eyelashes. When you put on black liquid eyeliner, it tends to make your eyelashes look non-existent, so it's always good to put on some black mascara. I never use brown. I used to use brown, but I love black mascara. Even if you don't want to use black liquid eyeliner, I would still use black mascara. I also have brown liquid eyeliner that I used to use all the time. So I put it on the bottom and on the top. When you put it on the bottom, it just kind of gives you that fuller look. So you don't need eyeliner on the bottom. And then I gotta fix my eyebrows because they go crazy. So there you have it. That's pretty much a look that I could wear. I don't normally wear stuff like that. As a last thought that I had, this is an illuminator. You can put it on your cheeks, like above your blush. I normally put it in dots, like as I'm showing you, and then I smooth it out so it makes the top of your cheeks kind of sparkle. So yeah, that's